All right, so Dharmaka Armacha Karmeka Moksheka Nati Karimi. This is a phrase that an Indian groom would say to his bride as he tied the Mungal Sutra over her neck, symbolizing the end of a traditional Indian wedding. It means for righteousness, financial needs, desire, or spirituality, I will always take care of you. As an avid traveler, I plan on traveling to India to experience the vast and distinctive culture, which includes my interest in the traditional Indian wedding. According to a 2016 stat poll, over half of Americans and 88.6% of Indians are married today. So first I would like to start with how you would find a partner in a traditional Indian wedding. So it is an arranged marriage, usually by the parents. Usually they will use word of mouth to find a suitor, or what has been popular lately with the internet rising in India is the Indian matrimonial sites, so kind of like dating websites. It's largely based on horoscope compatibility, and in urban areas, a lot more families will create meetings to have further interaction. All right, so once a partner is chosen, the festivities immediately begin. So we've got pre-wedding ceremonies, which include the Sagi ceremony, which is basically the engagement ceremony of the entire process. Here they're going to decide on the muhurat, which is basically the date and time for the ceremony, which is also slowly based off of their horoscopes and I guess the different timing of that and how they meet. It is marked by the exchangement of rings between the bride and the groom, and the couple is usually blessed by elders and given gifts. Okay. Another pre-wedding tradition is called the halde. Halde is a paste that is applied on the bride and groom's bodies before the wedding, just as a ritual. There's also the mahede, which is brides will be decorated with intricate patterns using henna. The Sangeet, which is music entertainment night. It's almost just like a follow-up to the engagement process. And then the tilak, which is kumkum is placed on the groom's forehead. So that's like when you'd see an Indian male or female and they have like the red dot on their face. It's called kumkum. So I included a few pictures of just a few of the ceremonies. So this is the halde, which is placed all over the male or the groom and bride's bodies. We've got the henna decoration over here, the tilak on his forehead, and then this one is actually called Jana Vasum, which the groom is paraded around town, kind of as if like in a Christian wedding when the priest will say like, who objects to this marriage. This is basically them parading him around to see if anybody objects. In the midst of the festivities, it is important for the bride and groom to pick the proper attire for the extravagant wedding. So here, the bride wears a sari or a lahunga. Red is the most common, and it represents prosperity and marital bliss. She will also wear elaborate jewelry and ornaments on her face and all over her hair, and her hair is usually plaited with flowers. The groom will wear a gumhat, which is a sign of respect to the deities and elders. It's usually white, beige, or an off-white. Oh no. So if the pre-wedding tradition seems overwhelming, wait until the actual wedding day. So during the wedding day ceremonies, they're going to have, it'll either be at the bride or groom's house or a wedding hall. And in the article, Indian Wedding Traditions, submitted by Survani Galpli, which is a PhD engineering student, he mapped out the traditions of the wedding day and how they correspond to each other and their significance. So the groom will also usually arrive to the place on horseback. In more extravagant times, he will ride an elephant all decorated, and he's always accompanied by his groomsmen and his family. So there's always going to be an exchange of garlands And whoever, between the bride and groom, and whoever exchanges theirs first usually will have an upper hand in the marriage. The father of the daughter will always give his daughter away. The bride and groom actually marry themselves in a Hindu wedding, whereas in a Christian wedding, the priest will marry them. So here he just facilitates instead of marries them himself. The bride and groom will also take steps around what you can see right here. It's the fire god, it's Agni. And then here's a picture of the groom coming in on horseback. And then you can see right here is actually how the wedding wraps up with the groom putting kumkum also on the bride's forehead. So Indian weddings and ceremonies and customs involve the joining of two families. It's important to consider the difference in cultures that populate our world and soak up info to embrace these cultures and traditions they pass down. All right, thank you.